Hi everybody, Dana Litwin here again, and welcome back to Tuesday Tips for Leaders of Volunteers. If you like this shirt, I'll have the link in the video description below where you can get it from Alive and support our professional network. So this week, talking about again tying into the Labor Day holiday, which was just this past weekend here in the States, but a good idea in general is workforce resilience. And this has mainly been talked about for paid employees, but of course we're specializing here on this channel with leaders of volunteers. So I want to apply some work-life balance, wellness, workforce resilience tips for all of you to think about for your entire team, paid and unpaid, full-time and part-time. So talking about workforce well-being, it enhances productivity and effectiveness for everyone in their role when there's a right balance of work and rest and stress and de-stress, relaxation. And you want to improve retention and talent attraction. If word gets out that your organization is a good place to be with meaningful work and a good life balance, then that attracts paid talent. And that word gets out to volunteers. We all know, I've had so many other videos on this channel and other people's podcasts that emphasize that the best recruitment tool you have is a volunteer telling other people about their experiences and inviting them to support your organization as a volunteer, as a donor, as a fan, as a voter, as an advocate, whatever that means. That word of mouth is going to be absolutely priceless. And having that kind of balanced workforce and people who are more effective and centered and not so burned out makes a positive impact on your mission delivery. So workforce well-being is directly linked to fulfillment of your mission and all of your strategic goals. When everyone on the team feels supported and valued, they are much more likely to be engaged and motivated and passionate about their work, and that automatically translates into higher quality services and better community outcomes. So the role of leaders in fostering work environments, especially yourself as a leader of volunteers, is promoting open communication and psychological and physical safety. So creating an environment where people feel that they are safe and supported. And this also ties into my very famous 3 C's of happy volunteers or happy team members when you're thinking about people's comfort, their convenience, and their connection to the cause. So openly promoting open communication and fostering trust and psychological safety helps kind of remove some stigma surrounding either people reporting that they feel burned out or stressed, or they're having some other mental health issues, and really encourages people on your team to seek support as needed or to ask for time off as needed. Also lead by example. Don't push yourself too hard, such as you are able to have real vacation days. I know some of us build up PTO in the system or vacation days in the system, and they either expire if you don't use them, or it just feels like you're never able to get away from work in a project. But really try to, at least within your department, if you can't impact the whole agency, kind of get that, and it's really hard here in the States to do this, but that European vacation summer mindset, that yep, I'm on time off and I'm unplugged and I'm not going to be in contact, and here's who you contact for an emergency. Just setting up those support systems for your organization and yourself helps build and model a resilient workforce. And establishing well-being policies and work with HR or operations or whichever person in your organization, if it's not you, is in charge of employee wellness, and tie that into volunteer wellness. Ideally, you want paid and unpaid team members to have access to pretty close to equal benefits. I know labor laws and employees are with different categories of benefits, so we're not talking about volunteers having necessarily health insurance if you're here in the States, but talking about if there's a wellness program like participating in steps or walking or Tai Chi or yoga, make sure volunteers feel invited and welcome in those spaces as well. And really, one of the key things I think to help burnout and stress management is learning the skills around it with more professional development. So whether you're in the States and a member of Alive as your professional network, or in Canada with VMPC, or the UK, or Australia, or wherever you are in the world, doesn't have to be an English-speaking country, check in with your organization around these wellness practices and your own professional development opportunities to learn for yourself, inform the volunteers, and maybe even bring back some wisdom about workforce resilience to the rest of your peers in the agency. Also, encouraging regular breaks and time off, kind of talking about that European versus American or versus even Japanese work ethics and mindsets, but whatever the cultural pressure to work or get things done or be productive, it's absolutely essential to take breaks as much as possible, again, as such as you are able in the situation that you're in, and having that grace and that compassion when volunteers or interns need time off to take care of things with family or some other priority in their life, and kind of offering that space for people to do that. And creating a supportive team culture in general, so a sense of belonging and a sense of welcoming, being aware of your own biases, plenty of other videos I'll link to about that as well, but really fostering an inclusive and supportive culture where colleagues can learn from each other and support each other such as it's appropriate. Encouraging open dialogue, empathy, and collaboration really creates a sense of community and enhances the whole team's well-being and resilience. Recognizing and rewarding effort, so tons of information about volunteer recognition, and it's so much more than knickknacks and parties. Those can be fun. You can do gamification, but really, again and again, I've heard through volunteer surveys and interviews and conversations that, going back to what I said in the beginning, people want to feel valued and heard and know that their work is having a meaningful impact, especially as a volunteer, but recognizing and rewarding specific efforts across the team. And then also monitoring workloads, either if you're supervising other paid employees and or for volunteers. Volunteers, sometimes people's heart is bigger than their schedule or what they can physically do. So watching out for people who come in too enthusiastically and want to do too much at once, and encouraging them to take on smaller workloads or fewer shifts and help balance that out so people don't come in and burn out after trying to do too much at once as a new volunteer. And finally, just good communication, engaging in regular check-ins with your entire team. How are volunteers interacting with paid team members? How are part-time people who just drop in maybe once in a while for special projects? How is that fitting in with folks who are there every day or for regular shifts? So keeping that communication open and that empathy and that compassion for when especially volunteers or intern schedules have to change is really key. When you conduct regular one-on-one check-ins with team members to discuss their well-being or their concerns or their career aspirations, again, that builds to that idea of you're all learning from each other. And I think that idea of learning from each other and being curious and learning all the time and kind of expanding information and sharing it as seamlessly as possible, all of that does build towards a more positive company culture in general and help you get amazing volunteers and paid teammates as well. And really promoting well-being for the entire team, that kind of big picture holistic approach. And that building of resilience is absolutely crucial in this sector. We're having a lot of challenges occurring from COVID, from economic factors, from political factors around the world. There tends to be an austerity mindset for cutting funding, and even with new strategies and new research coming out about the importance of volunteering to support any social safety net in any community in any country, it's up to us as a sector to hold each other up, model excellence, model resilience, and not allow each other to hit that burnout point, and to check in with our colleagues and our friends and even family members and say, hey, when is it possible for us to have a break, do something fun, do something social, whatever it means to you to unstress, whether that's quiet time or a physical activity to get rid of extra energy or just good old-fashioned nap on the weekends, or a fun, so easy, safe social time with friends. So I hope you enjoy these Tuesday tips on workforce resilience. And yeah, you got to take a break once in a while. One of my favorite phrases that I'll leave you with is about do. You do some things and then you just be, and then you do some more things and then you just let yourself be. And whatever that means in peacefulness or mindfulness or meditation, or again, I'm a big fan of naps. Try out do instead of just do all of the time, and that will help you and the rest of your team stay more resilient and continue the success of the agency that you're with, and have a more positive mission impact with volunteers and paid people working together very, very well. So have a great rest of the week. We'll have more Tuesday tips next week, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe, hit like, and share this video with your friends and other leaders of volunteers. We'll see you next time. Take care.